Good evening, vinyl junkies, and welcome along to another one of our episodes in our top 1000 vinyl videos of all time. You know the rules, they've got to be in this wall behind me. We're going to go through, so just because I might not include a particular album, it doesn't mean that it's a bad album, it just means I don't have it on vinyl. But here are three doozies that I do have on vinyl, and this particular episode I thought we would go right up to date, and I've picked out three albums that have come out in the last couple of years, and some really good new music coming on the scene right now. And in fact, in many ways, it's never been easier to get hold of what you want on vinyl. Now, the first album that I've picked is from an artist called, well, he goes by the name of Bright Light, and this album is called Life is Easy. I'd never heard of this guy. I believe he's Welsh. I'd never heard of him until I heard him being played by Graham Norton on the radio, and this particular track just stood out to me and just really said, this is an album that, even if this is the only good track on it, it's well worth buying. So I did it, and actually a lot of the other tracks are really good as well. And the track itself was Everything I Ever Wanted. Go and check it out on YouTube. That is a great track, and this album is worth the money just for that track alone. It wasn't actually a desperately expensive album either, because the trouble with vinyl becoming quite trendy and all the hipsters buying into it is that there's some really stupid prices coming up for some of the albums. But this, I think I paid $11.99 for it. Pretty good at that. It is a gatefold. I haven't taken it out of the shrink wrapping, so I really couldn't tell you what's in that gatefold. But if we look out on the inner sleeve, I'm just going to try and pull that out there. It's only a single disc album, but we've got pretty, very artistic pictures on there. Well, there doesn't appear to be, no, there's not really much in here. It's quite a utilitarian album. That said, within the gatefold, let's see if here on it. Yeah, all the lyrics are there deep down inside, along with a picture of him. I'm not going to split the cellophane because that does protect the sleeve from damage when it's in storage. I'm not really that desperate to look at the pictures. For me, the music is the most important, although sure, the tactile experience of the lovely big sleeve artwork is great. But we've now gone a little bit more mainstream, and the next album I've picked out is a Katy Perry album. Yeah, that's right, I've tracked down Katy Perry on vinyl. This isn't actually the only Katy Perry album I have on vinyl, but this is the one I've picked out for this video, and this is Teenage Dream. Now, Katy Perry is an artist that really, to be honest with you, of my accelerated years, I really didn't want to like. I thought it was going to be saccharine, manufactured pap, and actually it turned out it really wasn't that way. Now, Katy Perry is a stage persona, and I really want to point this out because the Katy Perry that you see on stage and the Katy Perry that comes across on the record doesn't actually exist. It isn't a real person. But the artist that is Katy Perry is Kathleen. Can't remember her surname, but she's not actually like that. She actually grew up in what sounds like an incredibly rabid, right-on Christian family. At least her mother was really very much a godmother, to the point that it makes Ned Flanders seem like some kind of Satan worshipper by comparison. If you don't believe me, go and have a look on Wikipedia, it's all there. Apparently she wasn't even allowed to have Lucky Charms, because her mother thought that Lucky sounded too much like Lucifer, and that was the devil's breakfast cereal. Well, I suppose it takes all sorts to make a world. But we've got on this some of her classic tracks. We've got California Girls featuring Snoop Dogg. That is actually a really good track. Also Firework, Peacock, although as Zoe said, Peacock appears to be a track that its sole purpose is for her to say cock an awful lot. And also The One That Got Away. These are the big singles, but also it has to be said, unlike some albums where you find the singles are actually, you could have just bought the singles and the rest of the album's just filler. The rest of the album is not filler. The rest of the tracks are all good. And I think in this day and age where really if there's just a couple of good tracks that you want, you can go to iTunes and get them very easily. Artists have to start making more of an effort. If they want to sell you the full tactile experience, the aesthetics and the package, the album tracks can't just be filler. And this album certainly is not made of filler. Great album, gatefold. Again, I left it in the shrink wrap, but on the inside we've got funny pictures by the look of it. We do have some inner sleeves, and these have got the sort of candy, sort of peppermint cream swirl logo that is sort of becoming one of Katy Perry's little trademarks in there. I'm just see, I can't remember whether they're both the same. Yeah, they're both the same, the inner sleeves, but you do also get a little piece of paper with all of the lyrics and the credits and stuff are basically what you'd find at the back of the booklet if you bought the CD version. Now, I'll get that back in later. Another thing I'd like to show you with these albums is the fact that they are wonderfully white, opaque and white. Again, another nice touch, really acknowledging the fact that vinyl is pretty collectible, so it's nice to have that something a little bit extra. And with this, you've got brilliant white LPs. You know, I've seen vinyl records, a lot of different colours, but this is quite nice, and it does go with the light colouring of the sleeve artwork and design. The final album is one which, again, is another artist I really didn't want to like, because I thought she was going to be saccharine, thought she was going to be manufactured, and actually she turned out to be anything but. And in some ways, this artist, I could see her becoming like the next Madonna. And I don't mean that in a sort of, you're just a copycat sort of a way, but I mean that in the way of an artist that can continually keep turning out good quality material. And this is Taylor Swift. And I managed to track down a copy of 1989 on vinyl. Again, it wasn't really all that expensive. If you hunt around, and I didn't buy this from Amazon, I bought it through Amazon, from the Amazon marketplace, from one of the sellers. Amazon's own copy is like about 30 quid. Amazon, come on, who are you trying to kid? But on the Amazon marketplace, there's a few really good sellers there that have got it at a far more realistic £12. So I got myself a copy of this. And really, the track that sold me this album was Shake It Off. The more I heard it, the more I really liked it. And there's also some of the other tracks on here that have been released as singles. And I really couldn't tell you, actually. I probably should have done a bit of research here. I think, no, I really can't remember what the singles were. But I have heard some of the other singles before I bought this album, and I really liked them. And when I did finally get this album, I was not disappointed. There are some really great tracks in here, and it's kind of hard to think. She was born in 1989. You know, my first car was made in 1989, and yet here is somebody who can walk and talk and dance and sing. You can hold down a conversation in 1989. She should still be being bottle fed. It's not fair. I mean, my internal clock just stopped aging at 16. But it's just weird when people who were in like infant school when I went to university are churning out stuff, but she's really good. And there's some really high quality new artists coming through. And I really do recommend that you go and check out some of these new albums, especially if you're a bit older like me and maybe you thought that music had, certainly popular music, had died a death and become manufactured crap with the likes of X Factor and Britain's Got No Talent and rubbish like that. But actually out there are some really good artists coming through, and I really do think that you should get out there and just really try and check out your comfort zones and look at some of the tracks that and music and albums that are coming through from these new artists. Anyway, I hope you like my selection. 3 pretty up-to-date albums there, available on vinyl, and I really do believe they're of a calibre that they deservedly so go into my top 1,000 vinyl albums. And indeed, there may be other albums that haven't even been released at the point that I'm recording this, which will make it into these 1,000 vinyl albums by the time we finish. And you take very good care of yourself. Don't forget to leave a comment down below, and also like this video and subscribe to the channel and share it too. Anyway, yeah, take care of yourself, and I'll be back with another vinyl video for you vinyl junkies, because we are here with a bit of vinyl survival. Did I get enough vinyls there? Can I have a cookie every time? Don't give me that hand signal. Anyway, take care. Bye for now. Oops.